TG Geeks, episode 331, June 21st, 2021, of Life and Service. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre. You name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona, the surface of the sun.
And I'm Ben Raggington, coming to you from one of the levels of hell from Dante's Inferno.
Exactly. We're going to get right on with this.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the Two Gay Geeks are discussing this.
Well, in this episode, we have a special treat. We have Joseph Gaxiola from the Joshua Tree Feeding Program. He's here to tell us all about that and how he came to be part of that. We've got a regular birthday shout-out, some interesting things there, and featured podcast of the week. And we got some feedback, including some
audio feedback.
Audio feedback. It was a video audio feedback, but we got some other feedback as well, our shout-outs. And if we have time, we got something in the second segment to talk about.
Oh, yes.
And then our wacky weekly recap, and then shout-outs. And we're just going to get on with it right now. This time, we welcome to our show again, Mr. Joseph Gaxiola. He is, you're still the chairman of Joshua Tree Feeding Program.
He's God.
And, yeah. And he's going to tell us about who he is, as well as talk to us about what Joshua Tree is and what they do, and some exciting new stuff that they have. So, Joseph, welcome to the show again.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
3 years in a row, I believe. So,
Is it?
yeah.
Is it 3 years in a row?
The first one was over at Coco.
I remember that.
And then
Yeah,
here,
And
you
then-
invited
yeah.
me to the studio, and then another time to the studio.
Yeah. So tell
And
us.
this time I have libations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have some lovely wine. That
Yeah,
we're
this is turning into a drinking show.
Imbibing. And I said a minute ago, I think I've had enough that we can start.
But now we can do the episode. I'm
Now we can do-
I'm thoroughly buzzed.
Yes.
Feeling good right now.
Yes. So, Joseph,
We need Jeannie
tell
now.
us who you are and what you've done, and then how did you get involved with Joshua Tree?
Well, like you said, my name is Joseph Gaxiola. I'm actually a rarity in this state. I'm an Arizona native, born and raised in Arizona, in a little mining town in eastern Arizona. Lived in San Diego for 15 years, though, and came back. And I'm with my other half, Edward. We've been together for 13 years. We went to high school together.
Yeah.
He graduated in 87, and myself 89, and we despised each other.
I was going to say, wasn't he like your mortal enemy at that
well,
time?
not
Joseph's
kind of
sitting
mortal.
over- He's kind of
Edward's-
sitting over here cruising on his phone there.
trying to ignore us because he doesn't want to say anything. But in 96, I became a drag queen and just started doing fundraisers for other nonprofits in San Diego.
I want to say one of the better drag queens I've watched.
Yes.
Aw.
And your
Seriously.
your drag name is Jaggy.
Jaji.
Oh,
Jaggy?
Hey, I've been called lots of things with
Oh
this
my
name.
God. I can take that as
Jaggy.
Some people have tried to make it French as Jaji.
Okay, keep in mind, Jaggy, 4 gay men in this room, that's a dangerous road to go down.
But I started doing fundraisers for nonprofits, especially HIV agencies in San Diego. And I myself became HIV in November of 99. And so when I moved back here in December of 2004, Started up a drag career here, as well as working at a daytime job, and started doing fundraisers. And one of the places that I started doing fundraisers for was Joshua Tree Feeding Program, which I believed in their mission at the time. Well, actually, I still do. But
at the time, I believed in Joshua Tree.
I don't believe in it now.
I don't.
I still run the organization, but I have no confidence in it whatsoever.
No.
And then I think it was like 2008, I ended up getting sick.
I remember that.
Not from
it wasn't AIDS.
It wasn't AIDS.
No.
It wasn't HIV. It was
something else.
It was this little thing that's found in the Sonoran Desert called valley fever.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, I ended up covering a quarter of my lungs. It's a fungus that's in the that you get from a spore in the dirt here. So ended up getting that. Couldn't be able to work a corporate job.
Oh, it'll lay you up.
Yeah, and as Edward called it, I had a 2.5 week vacation in the hospital. Then started actually becoming a client at Joshua Tree because we needed food. We lost a third of our income at the time, and I'm too much of an A-type personality, so I just couldn't just be a client. I had to start volunteering. My first volunteering job was mopping and sweeping the floors. Got on the board as a co-fundraiser coordinator because, hey, drag queen, raise money.
Yeah.
And then moved up on the board, and I think it's going to be end of August. It'll be my 9th year of being the chairman, the one in charge.
Yeah. So,
didn't plan on being the one in charge. It was just happened to.
It just happened.
Yeah, it just happened. Yeah, that was not my goal in life. To be in charge of a nonprofit that you don't get paid for.
No. Yeah.
But I do get 80% of my food there still from them.
So tell us about Joshua Tree. I mean, how 33 years, 32?
Well, it is technically 32 years right now. Joshua Tree Feeding Program is a food pantry for the HIV/AIDS community of Maricopa and Pinal County here in Arizona. We are set up as a store, so our clients get to pick and choose what they like, so nothing is wasted, and it also empowers them because, hey, this is what I like, this is what I want.
That almost, I was going to say,
that was almost word for word.
Well, because I know you probably listened to one of my past interviews and just wrote down what I said.
Oh, was that how he did it?
I would say so. I think so. But so we started, until recently, I was told that we started in October of 1988. Found out going through the history of Joshua Tree, going through some old archives, we actually started in July of 1988.
Oh, wow, cool.
We just didn't get incorporated until October.
Oh, but why are we going to quibble over months?
Yeah,
well, some people do, because of that, we are the oldest continuously running HIV/AIDS organization in the state of Arizona.
That would be accurate,
yeah.
So, and we are still, I was telling somebody today at Joshua Tree, we are one of the few organizations in the nation that is a PWA that's organization run by PWAs for PWAs. So and back in the 80s and early 90s, that's where we took care of ourselves.
Right.
So it's people with AIDS running for people with AIDS.
I mean, who else was? I mean, nobody was doing it at the time.
No,
exactly.
I mean, the gay community was still not accepted like we are today. People with HIV, they were really just scorned in the worst way. So it became necessary for our community to take care of ourselves. It was the only way we could survive.
Correct. And if it wasn't for 3 members. And I knew I should have wrote this down, but I can't remember. There's two gentlemen and one lady who started Joshua Tree. And if it wasn't for them, we would not have been able to feed people to make them live longer. Because medications are expensive. So
and food insecurity
or medication
is a huge thing right now. I mean, I applaud you for doing this, and you have a new program that we'll talk about just shortly, but it's all about food insecurity. And
but I think that this is also a great opportunity to kind of dovetail into how the kind of services that Joshua Tree offers and how it operates, because I remember a couple of years ago you gave Keith and gave us the tour of the place, and I was just beyond surprised.
It really is amazing.
I mean, at how well this entire operation runs and how, I mean, it literally, I felt like I was walking into a mini grocery store.
Yep.
I mean, and I mean that quite literally.
And it's wonderful. I mean, there you have everything is lined out there, and people can pick and choose, like you said, and nothing goes to waste. If they want something, they take it.
Exactly, and you guys haven't been there,
including lots of bread.
Oh, so much bread and so much pastries. It's like if you have a
every time we go over, you want some bread?
I bring bread to everything. As like I have a family birthday party to go to, and guess what? I'm bringing bread because we have so much bread, and I tell
it'll go bad if you don't.
If you don't use it, it's gonna mold.
Yeah,
and go bad
might as well.
in a couple of days.
Yeah, and we do any leftovers we do on Thursdays. We go to other nonprofits and we donate to them, so that way the food doesn't go bad, and we don't throw out unwanted food.
Right. Well, that's great. I think that in turn you're turning back food to other people.
Yes.
That need it as well. You get your donations from the grocery stores and the places that you go to, and then in turn you help another organization to survive and have wonderful stuff.
Yeah, and we go to the grocery stores 6 days a week. The only time we don't go is on Sundays.
Wow.
Okay.
So we are literally picking up Monday through Saturday.
Right.
And have distribution on Wednesday mornings for the HIV/AIDS clients at 8:30 to 12. And then we started a new program that literally started at the beginning of June.
Let's talk about that one, because this is a very interesting program.
This one's very important. I mean, it has become, I won't say it's kind of a mission of ours, but I think that awareness of the gender nonconforming community is needed.
Oh, yeah.
Even among the LGBTQ community.
Absolutely.
Not to mention the regular community at large.
Well, this gentleman, Ian, approached the board of the Joshua Tree Feeding Program about a year and a half ago, saying that the gender nonconforming community, they were going to other food banks and food pantries in the state.
Probably nowhere near as good as yours.
Well, but they most people haven't updated their license. And so they had to show them their license, and then they would call out that name on the license, which is basically a dead name.
Right.
So here is somebody who has have become self-aware of their new identity and their new gender, and is living like that, and then being called by a dead name.
Right.
So a lot of people.
It was not a safe place.
No, it wasn't, because you're in a lobby with other people.
Right.
And you don't look like that person anymore.
Right.
And then you have to get up to a dead name.
Right.
And that's not you. That's not you anymore. So they weren't going to those food banks and food pantries. So Ian came and approached us and asked if we would start up a second distribution day for the trans community as well as the gender nonconforming community. And we were actually going to start it on March 2020. But
what happened in March 2020?
Oh, let's
all
see.
hell broke loose.
You guys like to call it the Great Pause.
The Great Pause.
I call it the Big Intermission.
Yeah, there we go.
It's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thankfully, once things have started to settle and everyone's good and comfortable, we were able to start this at the beginning of June of 2021. And it's now on Wednesday nights from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. because a lot of the people in that community work.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
So I'm not
That's
saying that the
perfect.
people in the HIV/AIDS community don't work. It's just the fact that we have always been established during the daytime. So they changed their schedule so they could go there, shop,
Right.
and then go back to work. I know a few people who take their early lunch hour or go in later and have a split schedule.
Right. So that I think it's wonderful that you're doing this for the gender nonconforming. We run the Trans Lifeline on every episode. We are very open and we learn every day. I mean, we're going to make mistakes.
Oh yeah,
Everybody makes mistakes, but we have learned from our mistakes that we have made about the trans and the gender nonconforming community, and it it's really an eye opener. And the breadth and of people that are out there that are just people.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, and
I'm glad that you are a safe place for them.
Yeah.
That are dealing with food insecurity because of what they are facing, and those that can't change their IDs yet or whatever, and
some
face discrimination.
Maybe they just don't feel comfortable going to a regular grocery store even.
Yeah.
Exactly. And to be able to go into go into Joshua Tree at this designated time and just know that they are safe there. I mean, that's the amount of stress that relieves from them is more than remarkable, and it's just wonderful that you can do that for them.
Yeah, and they still have we still offer the same services. They still can shop and get produce and the pastries and way more bread than anyone ever needs, as well as the meat products.
Take another loaf.
Exactly. But
it's on the house.
They also have access to our pet free dog and cat
cool.
food.
Oh yeah, let's mention that too.
As well as the free toiletries and vitamins. But we don't put all the vitamins out because we don't want to run into any issues with the hormones that they are taking.
Exactly.
But like vitamin D and multivitamins we will put out for them.
Right.
And you mentioned the pets. This is something that I think is really remarkable, because, we've heard horror stories about people who were shopping. I mean, they were, either they were eating their own pet food because they couldn't afford to get regular food for themselves, or they couldn't afford to get the pet food, so the pets are suffering.
Well,
so
like the guy in The Dead Don't Die.
Oh my God, that doesn't count. That does not count.
Have you seen that film?
Yes.
Oh my God, he just scoops out all the cat food and then he licks the spoon, and it's like everybody in the theater went, ah!
Well, it's no worse than Grey Gardens. I don't know if this is pate or cat food.
But see, that one doesn't count because the guy's well off anyway. He was just stupid. But we have people that are, people in our community that for the longest time, before something like Joshua Tree was available to them, they couldn't afford to go out, get the food that they needed, or let alone take care of their own pets. And Keith and I are, we're all cat owners here, and we all understand the wonderful emotional therapy that our pets can provide us, and it's kind of important that we be able to take care of them as well.
Yeah.
And for Joshua Tree to be able to provide that, just really warms my heart in ways I can't describe.
Speaking of which, we need to go and buy a big, 95 gallons of cat food and dog food and other stuff and bring it over.
Yeah.
Tell us about. Sorry.
No, I was going to say is that's one of the reasons why in 2010 we started the pet program, because of the fact that we found out the meats that we were giving to our clients, they weren't eating; they were just making it for their pets.
Right. Mm-hmm. So tell us about what is it that somebody with HIV needs to do to come to Joshua Tree and sign up for the program?
Well, we're one of the easiest applications out there, where it's just 3 pages. All you need to do is show proof of ID, proof of residency, proof of income. We don't care about that, but we need that for our demographics and for the Department of Economic Security that we do send reports to. And then proof of HIV status. And most people, like myself, I brought in a pill bottle because there's certain medications for HIV. You know,
that's pretty, and you can't get that prescription if you're HIV negative.
Exactly. I mean, I did have somebody come in with Advil, and I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. You just have
that's
headaches.
Not working.
But that's all you need to do, and you just renew once a year.
Right.
And you don't have to show any other proof because we already have it on record unless you move.
And it's all confidential.
Yeah. And we don't even go use the names that you give us on the driver's license because Lord knows people in general in the LGBTQ community don't really go by their real names.
Most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. I have 3 different names myself.
Client number 5.
Well, it's like you tell me what you want me to call you and I'll call you that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then for the gender nonconforming,
same thing. We'll take we need for our own records. We'll make a copy of their driver's license, but If you want me to call you, Lola Brigida, guess what?
Gina Lola Brigida.
You're just Lola now. That's kind of a situation. If you want to be called Al, well, welcome Al.
Well, Gina Lola Brigida is going to be my new drag name.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
You know what my drag name is? Kitty Cromwell.
See, I'm not that creative.
I was always told that it was your first pet and the street you grew up on.
Well, that's true.
See, I can't use that.
I can't use it either.
I can't because then I would be Boris Astor. I'm sorry. What, am I a Russian drag queen? That's not going to fly.
Well, it works for Katya.
I guess.
But, if you did that, I'd be Ginger 9th Street. So, no.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Hang on. That could really, I don't know. I'm picturing Beach Blanket Babylon all of a sudden, and I think it works.
I do 60 songs, but not like that.
Right.
No, my drag name is just basically my initials, JAG. We just put an I in it to feminize it.
Yeah, there you go. I think it works.
Because this is way before the TV show, but who wants to be called Jag in drag?
Jag and drag.
Jag and drag.
Okay, that's going to go some pretty dark places.
There's another tangent there.
So what else do you want to tell us about Joshua Tree?
Well,
what have you got any fundraisers? I assume that's going to start gearing up again because you've always had some wonderful fundraisers.
Those were enjoyable.
You've had the Bolorama, which nearly killed us last time.
Yeah, I lost my arm in that.
I mean, it was like for 5 days we were like, I can't get out of bed.
I know. It's like I went
we
from
bowled 5 games.
I went from being 57 to 90.
Well,
what happened?
Those were going to get up soon, but I miss bowling. Yeah. I do. I can't bowl because I get too competitive and I forget to do my chairman duties.
And then, are you doing the Red Dress Ball this year?
Please, I love the Red Dress Ball.
Red Dress Ball is Sisters Perpetual Indulgence.
Okay, yeah, it's true.
So,
and Joshua Tree will be there representing because the Sisters of the Grand Canyon Sisters Perpetual Indulgence are a huge supporter of ours, and so we're going to be doing that along.
I adore them.
Project Nunway is another fun one too that they do.
Okay,
that we'll be at. Well, Glennard, who is our treasurer and IT guru, is our model.
Oh, cool.
So we're just waiting for the theme on that one. But Joshua Tree, we've done a couple virtual fundraisers that were just as good as in person. But we are having a huge one coming up to celebrate our 33rd anniversary on July 24th, and it's going to be the Founders Party.
Okay.
And it's going to be our first in-person thing.
Oh, cool.
That's going to be from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Tickets are $20, and our host / MC is going to be Diva Danielle Williams, who's a media personality here in Arizona.
Okay.
That's a Saturday.
Cool.
It is a Saturday.
Well, we will be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
If I can lose enough weight to fit in my suit.
But I'm very proud because not only did I, Diva Danielle said yes, but I actually have my drag mother coming from San Diego.
Oh, cool.
Empress 25, Roxy Blue. If you want to see where my personality and my style of drag comes from, it's completely off of her.
Okay.
So
I've only seen you do the drag once, so
yes.
This will be interesting.
So I'm very happy, and then as well as 2 good friends of mine from San Diego are also coming. Christina Monet and Angela are also former empresses of the Imperial Court of San Diego.
Cool.
Outstanding. So we're running up against the clock. So if people want to learn, if they want to learn more about Joshua Tree, how can they do that? I mean, obviously, there's got to be some sort of online social media presence.
Oh, yeah. We have our website, which is www.jtfp.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We have a YouTube page, but there's nothing on it yet. I just got a new social media person, so she's like, I'm doing all of this.
And
Yay!
Twitter is at JTFPI.
Correct. And then Joshua Tree is the full name, and same as Instagram, Joshua Tree Feeding Program.
Well, this has been wonderful. I can't believe the time flew so fast.
I know. Well, because
this happens all the time.
Well, especially when you're drinking.
It is always so good to talk to you, Joseph. And I thank you for letting us be a part of Joshua Tree.
You guys are great. I mean, you're good friends of mine, for one, and for two, everything you guys done for Joshua Tree is just unbelievable. You talk about us every week. As the Joshua Tree Feeding Program. But your support has gone so far and means so much to me. And you guys know I adore you. I've adored you for years, even before you had me interview on this.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well,
because, I met you guys through Jeannie.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we still have yet to talk about, those stories.
Well, Jeannie's the nexus to everybody. Everybody needs everybody through Jeannie.
She is the nexus.
She is the center of the universe.
That's one thing she will say is like, okay, everybody needs to know everybody. Everybody needs to like everybody. Everyone's friends. Right.
Yep. Well, thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
You don't need to hear their identification. They're the Two Gay Geeks. They can go about their business. Move along.
Well, it was a great conversation. A great conversation, and as we had alluded to in the conversation, we had Joseph directly here in the studio,
and we were drinking.
We had quite a few
lots of wine
beverages. Yes, our new favorite wine, the Jacqueline Lyon, which is from the Gruet family,
ding.
It's actually a wonderful sparkling rosé, and it's actually cheap, and it's good.
And that's why yesterday you bought a case of it.
Yeah. Well, we've been, entertaining so much recently, and
now that the great pause is slowly kind of going away.
Yeah. So here's a few selected birthdays for June 21st through June 27th, 2021. June 21st, Chris Pratt, actor, Parks and Recreation, Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what made him huge.
Yep. As well as Jurassic World. Originally, he before his career took off, a number of oddball things. He worked at a Bubba Gump's restaurant in Hawaii.
Yes.
He was a stripper, and he lived in his car.
Okay, I knew that he lived in his car at one time. I did not know that he was a stripper.
Yep.
Of course, now he's got the bod for it.
Yep, exactly. So, and we also then as well on June 21st, Jane Russell, actress, Howard Hughes.
Oh my God! I had a feeling you were about to really mess that up.
Yep, started her career with the infamous The Outlaw. It's the infamous Western, and also famous for the apocryphal cantilever stainless steel bra. To show off her assets.
Well, see, and that's why I thought you were really going to blow it when you started to say Howard Hughes. It really looked like that Hughes was going to go into a totally different direction, which would have been
who knows where it was going to go.
It would have been. I mean, it would have been inappropriate, but yet it would have been pertinent.
Yeah. And then we have Al Hirschfeld, artist, a caricaturist of Broadway. He drew 37 covers for TV Guide.
Oh yeah,
it was amazing.
His artwork is
his line drawing artwork is just incredible.
It's very recognizable, and I love that he actually got to be sort of memorialized in Fantasia 2000.
Yeah,
for the Rhapsody in Blue segment.
Exactly. And then we have Monty Markham, actor. Oh my gosh, character actor of the 60s through the 80s and still doing things. He was in a little bit of everything.
Like?
You name it, he was in it.
Okay.
In the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I mean, everything from Murder, She Wrote to I didn't write them all down. It's like, okay, we'd be here till next week. But
all right,
he's been in everything. June 22nd, Meryl Streep, actress. She has been nominated over 21 times.
She only won twice.
I didn't.
I know that she won for Kramer versus Kramer.
Yep.
And I think I want to say she won for Devil Wore Prada, but I couldn't be certain. Although you've got a really great story about when she was working on that.
Yeah, it's actually another thing about her is that she can master almost any accent.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Totally believable.
Yep. And a recent news item that I read about when she was working on The Devil Wears Prada, she said it was so painful for her that she quit method acting altogether because she stayed in the character of Miranda the entire shoot. And,
Miranda is a very
nearly
acerbic,
drove her crazy.
Yeah, and Miranda's a very acerbic character anyway, so I can see why that could be a difficult thing to maintain.
Yep. Then we have Erin Brockovich, activist. Her famous case against PG&E was the subject of the film about her. She discovered through some research she was doing for something completely different that PG&E was poisoning the water in a specific little town, and she brought the case, and oh my gosh, just all of it was craziness. Cyndi Lauper, singer, activist, huge friend of the LGBTQ community.
Big time ally.
When she was filming Girls Just Want to Have Fun, the video had such a small budget that she bought furniture, she painted the sets herself, she bought materials and wallpaper and stuff that she could do, as well as she had a huge collection of sunglasses that she gave to the girls that were in the video, as well as shared her makeup.
And that video, well, the song would just rocketed to the top, and the video was always being played on MTV.
Yep. It's just, and she's, just a great person altogether.
She's a very good person.
Yeah. Bruce Campbell, actor of the Evil Dead series, as Ash.
Oh,
and
yes.
Bubba Hotep. I think last year when his birthday came around, we watched Bubba Hotep.
We watched
for the
Bubba
first
Hotep,
time.
Yeah. What a wackadoodle movie.
Oh, my God.
Well, we also needed to see it because it's a Don Coscarelli movie.
Exactly.
And we just earlier met Don at a screening for Phantasm. So it became necessary to see Bubba Hotep. Yeah.
And Lindsay Wagner, actress, Bionic Woman, Warehouse 13, was considered for the role of Captain Janeway at one point.
That would have been interesting. I mean, not to take anything away from Kate Mulgrew, because I adore her, but it would have been interesting to see Lindsay Wagner in that role.
Yep. And then we have Tim Russ.
Speaking of Star Trek Voyager.
As Tuvok. And Paul Frees, voice actor. He is the ghost host
At the Haunted Mansion.
Yep. As well as voiceover for hundreds of things for Disney, including Ludwig von Drake. And he was
I didn't know that he was Ludwig.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he was in the Banana Splits. And
really?
Yeah, he was the evil something or other.
And okay.
Also in Rocky and Bullwinkle show as Boris Badenov.
Right.
And as well as many, many other things. In the 70s, he was paid $50,000 a year to voice the Pillsbury Doughboy. Even though, exactly. I mean, $50,000 a year just to do that. And he said, he was asked one time, do you ever regret going into voice acting? He said, I do occasionally, and then I look at my bank account.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, $50,000 back in the 70s, that's nothing to sneeze at.
It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. And Mildred Loving, the wife of Richard Loving of the famed Loving versus Virginia case that in 1967 that overturned the marriage laws in Virginia,
right.
And then it became constitutional as a case for constitutional law throughout the country, and also was part of the basis for the Obergefell decision by the Supreme Court.
Oh,
yes, exactly.
Okay, it's certainly relevant today.
Exactly. June 23rd, Alan Turing, a mathematician, a cryptanalyst. He, out gay man, he broke the, as out as you could be in the late 40s and the 50s. Yeah. And he broke the Enigma code in World War II for Great Britain. And he actually died by suicide because of the...
but he was chemically castrated, wasn't he?
Chemically castrated, and it was just a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And he received a public apology from... Posthumous, yes, then Prime Minister, and a pardon by the Queen, and is due to appear on the 50-pound note this month.
Nice,
So,
but
yeah.
it would have been even better if he could have been more properly treated when he was alive.
You're talking, about the 50s. And
I know, it was the dark ages in
Yep.
those days.
And Bob Fosse, actor, dancer, jazz hand.
Choreographer.
Yes, choreographer. Just wonderful, things that he did with a hat on the hands.
He redefined dancing.
Exactly. And then we have Paul
Paul
Verhoeven, director of many, many things, including, Showgirls.
That's right, he did
Yes.
Showgirls,
Yeah.
which we've yet to watch.
Yeah. Interesting that all of his films are these, kind of gory... shoot 'em up films,
Yeah.
and then you have Showgirls.
Yeah, and there's some kind of this is what I read somewhere that this is what you get if you take away you get a Paul Verhoeven movie and take away all of the violent shoot-ups, you end up with Showgirls or something like that.
And June 24th, Roy O. Disney, co-founder of the Walt Disney Company and Walt's older brother. He was the finance guy,
right?
And Walt was the
idea guy.
The idea guy, and there's a apocryphal story about one of the spires on the castle at Disneyland.
That Snow White's castle.
Walt wanted it to be gold, and Roy said no. And then Roy went on vacation, and he came back, and there was a gold spire.
Yeah, Walt did it anyway.
Yep. Then we have Mick Fleetwood, drummer and co-founder of Fleetwood Mac. And then have Facebook friend Angel Martinez, who is an author. Her wonderful paranormal...
or para-abnormal, as you like to call it.
Para-abnormal, yes, offbeat crime series. It was just wonderful. And then our niece, Mariah Lane, and Kent Lilly, a former coworker of mine. June 25th. George Michael, singer, Wham. Mm-hmm. He's the instigator of Whamageddon with Last Christmas.
Oh, yes.
Out gay man. Actually, quite a good singer and a showman.
Wonderful
really.
voice. He really
yeah.
did have a fabulous voice, and he was a very good person.
Slightly tortured individual, but...
yeah. But, when he... the Careless Whisper, I think is the name of the song, that he... even though he wrote it, he gave co-writing credit to his Wham partner.
Yeah.
And, so that he knew that he would be taken care of, later on in life, because the royalties were going to be just endless on that.
Yep. And then we have Anthony Bourdain. I suppose you could call him a gourmand or an epicure. Is somebody that lives for food, shall we say. Mm-hmm. He started as a dishwasher and graduated from the Culinary Institute of America. He traveled widely for his TV shows showcasing foods of the world. Very, very outspoken. Even rude or blunt about his beliefs on food. He said one time on his role of being executive chef, he said, I get to swan around the kitchen and take credit for other people's work. Mm-hmm. So, kind of interesting. Sadly, by several accounts, he suffered from depression and died by suicide.
Yeah. While
he was in France, actually on shooting some episodes of his TV program.
Tragic.
His good friend, Chef Eric Ripert, found him in his hotel room. It was just sad. Sidney Lumet, director extraordinaire. The train leaving the station and Murder on the Orient Express is just...
It's a fabulous scene.
It's a magnificent
It is.
scene.
It's beautifully shot.
It's several minutes long, but it is just incredible.
He turns the train into a character in that movie.
Yep, exactly.
And we're talking Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes. The original.
The original film, yeah.
Yes. Antonio Gaudí, famed architect of La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, Spain.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think scheduled to be finished in the next couple of years or something.
Yeah, I think it had been planned, but then the Great Pause happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's plans to actually finish it, which would be just a miracle beyond belief.
And he died,
a long time ago.
And then we have June Lockhart, actress, another of America's
She's
TV moms.
still with us.
Exactly. And Larry Kramer, activist and writer, founder of ACT UP in New York City. And then a friend of ours, Thelonious Sweetleaf, a.k.a. Dillo, or any number of other
Formerly
characters.
Dillo in Berlin. I think
Yes.
he is now Dillo in Oregon.
No, he's Thelonious Sweetleaf.
Well, yeah.
But
He'll always be Sweetleaf.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
of
think
course.
he's now relocated. He's back in the
yes,
States.
he's in Seattle, I believe.
That's it. Oh,
Yes. June 26th, Sean Hayes, actor, producer, out gay man, Jack and Will and Grace, and producer of Grimm.
Grimm. God bless you, Sean, for giving us Grimm.
Exactly. And he actually came out on his Facebook page in a Throwback Thursday thing where he said that he had married his partner.
Oh,
So,
like we didn't
Yeah,
know you
exactly.
were gay. We already knew, Sean. Okay, fine.
and then we have Facebook friend and filmmaker Scott J. Ramsey. Happy birthday, Scott. June 27th, J.J. Abrams, director, producer, known for his multiple TV shows and Star Trek or the J.J.
And
verse.
big red balls and
Big
lots
red,
of
yeah.
lens flares.
Yep, Star Wars. He has 22 projects in some form of production from announced to filming right now in progress. And actually, one of the trivia things was that he overused the lens flares in several of his things.
His
and
wife said, "Pull it back."
Industrial Light and Magic had to go fix some of it.
Some of them, fix it in post, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yep. And then we have Bob Keeshan, actor, best known as Captain Kangaroo. Oh my gosh, I watched that show
I did too.
every morning.
When I was a kid, I did.
I loved that show.
And under him, it had there was a lot of quality to that show, and that's credit to Keeshan, who I think was just fantastic as Captain Kangaroo.
Yep. There was Mr. Green Jeans.
Yeah.
All the different characters that he had, and he was actually Clarabelle the Clown in Howdy Doody Show.
That's right.
As well.
I think he was the original Clarabelle.
Yep. And then we have, last but not least, Anamofo,
One of the
opera
most
singer
amazing
extraordinaire. Performed at the Met for 17 seasons. My gosh, what a fabulous coloratura. She sang everything, and she sang with everybody.
She did. I mean, most sopranos, a lot of sopranos, they either like to stay just purely doing, lyrical work or maybe doing bel canto, and she did it all.
Yep.
She was fantastic.
Yeah, she did a little bit of everything, and her voice was just, I think that her voice was ahead of the times. She could make it today.
Oh, easily, and her technique was flawless.
Exactly. I mean, she was in great form most of the time. Anyway, I could go on endlessly. I love Anamofo, by the way, if you couldn't tell. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counselors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
Well, we talked about Joshua Tree, but I want to give this shout out, as we always do. Anyway, it's a 501c3 nonprofit food pantry for the HIV and AIDS community in Pinal counties, Maricopa and Pinal counties. And they set it up like a store, like Joseph said. It really is. I mean, it's like walking into a grocery store.
It was. The first time I walked in there, I thought I was in a department or a grocery store.
Yeah.
It was so well organized.
And they have lots of things for the clients to choose from, and they choose what they want. And they take only what they want. And they, obviously, as Joseph talked about, they have a second distribution now for those in the gender nonconforming community. And thank you for that, for doing that, as well as their pet assistance project and many of the other things that they do. If you want to support Joshua Tree, you can go to jtfp.org and you can do a monthly recurring gift or a singular gift. And it would be welcome and appreciated.
Yeah, we've got all the time in the world for this. Yeah, this is time for our feedback, and I gotta race to this because we're beginning to run out of time. These are comments that we got from articles that we posted on our website, and each of these articles that generated this feedback will be featured in the show notes for this number, episode 331, on our website at tggeeks.com. Starting with, regarding Ben's breakdown, Jupiter's Legacy, Season 1, 3-episode thoughts. I should retitle that to Series 3-episode thoughts, because we just got the 1 year.
Yep, exactly.
Got a comment from John Smith, who follows us quite regularly on Twitter, and he says, I enjoyed the review. I'm almost wondering, though, if I should wait till Season 2 to start watching it after what you said about feeling frustrated. Yeah, well, he did finally watch the entire thing. Moving on, regarding Hamish Downey's 5 questions with Jay Palmieri Jr., got a comment from Jay Palmieri Jr. He says, go check out my interview for TG Squared Studios. Thank you, Hamish Downey, for interviewing me for your 5 questions with segment. Go to tggeeks.com to read my interview and many other filmmaker interviews. It was an honor to be interviewed about my LGBT horror films, Taste, Leah, and Play. Lots of fun. And then, blast from the past regarding TG Geeks episode number 169.
What?
I had to look this up. I had to look this up because this is from Arkle, Brian Weber, and he posted 3 years ago today, I was a guest on the Two Gay Geeks podcast, and I had to look it up. It was episode 169. I'd link to the interview, but that was pre-changed the channel. So in it, I recommend a few YouTubers who I am no longer comfortable directing people to. Shrug. Subscribe to the podcast, though. Ben and Keith are good people.
Oh, thanks,
Arkle, you are truly a gentleman. You are awesome, and we love you. Your comments and feedback are always enjoyable. And then we close things off with regarding TG Geeks episode number 320. Actually, we don't, because there's more after this.
Yeah.
Regarding TG Geeks episode number 327, got a comment from Corey Lynn Nelson, because that was the episode where we talked about how we were vacationing with Lynn and John, Keith's favorite sister and her husband. And Corey Lynn Nelson, she comments, glad you're having a fun vacation with your favorite sister. Got a comment from the Fizz Podcast radio show saying, thank you for featuring us in your recent podcast episode. And then they parenthetically say, I think it was the one before this. Kiss, hug, kiss, hug. And then we got a comment from Lynn. She said, we loved wandering with you last week, and we really enjoyed being there when you recorded your episode. Love you guys. She was in the studio when we recorded that at the time. And now we have something special.
Yeah, this is, it's a audio, it was a video feedback on Facebook Messenger from Corey, and she was driving at the time, so there's a little bit of background noise, so I'm going to play it right now. So it's our audio feedback.
TG Geeks. I wanted to know that on my drive I was listening to this week's episode 326, and I wanted to let you know how much I actually really look forward to each of your podcasts with the birthday section.
Everybody does.
I actually learn a lot of things, and you guys just continue to keep it entertaining. Hey, in this episode you mentioned it was Sir Conan Arthur Doyle's birthday, and I said that wrong, didn't I? Damn it. But you know what I mean.
You're distracted.
Right. There is a new series I just started reading by Bonnie McBird, and in the Sherlock Holmes adventures, there's, I think, 4 books in it. They're pretty action-packed, and I liked them. I thought they were well written. So, little tip for you there. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Corey.
That was wonderful.
Corey is always so upbeat, and she's always very encouraging, and just a great person and a wonderful friend.
She is. She's of all the friends that I have, active friends. She's among one of my oldest, and meaning that I've known her the longest.
Yeah,
and
not one of your oldest friends.
No. I mean, she's one of the ones that I've known the longest.
There we go.
I think she's like one of our 5 listeners. No, I know we have more listeners than that, but she's definitely one of them.
Well, thank you again, Corey. And if you want to leave feedback, you can do that. You can like us on our Facebook page.
On our fake book page.
Our fake book Facebook page, and you can comment on any episode or anything that we publish there, as well as at tggeeks.com. You can comment on episodes, on articles, everything else. Twitter, Instagram, and our podcasts on YouTube. We also have a listener feedback line, although that was not what Corey used. But you can, and we'll play that on air. If you send us a voicemail, you can call 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice. Well, as everybody knows, we're huge supporters of independent creators, whether it's filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others. Please go to their websites, their Etsy pages, their Facebook pages, their Twitter, Instagram, etc. Take a look at their stuff, buy their stuff, tell other people about their stuff, and engage them in conversation. It would be much appreciated. Please consider supporting independent creators. Also, starting on July 1st, we would really appreciate your vote in the People's Choice Podcast Awards. We'll be in the newly created LGBTQ category. More info to follow whenever they update the website. It's at Podcast Awards and podcastawards.com, I believe.
Somebody has to love us best.
Exactly. So we would really appreciate that. Oops. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like 2 gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're 2 gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
We got to get through this fast. We watched a movie on HBO Max. This movie there was a lot of controversy surrounding it, not due to its content, but due to whether or not it could get released or not, due to the Great Pause. I mean, it was made, or at least it was scheduled to be released at probably one of the worst times imaginable because of the pandemic. But it's available on HBO Max now. It is probably one of the most heady sci-fi films I've seen in a long time, and we're talking Tenet.
Tenet, yes. It is, wow. I said at one point, oh my gosh, this is like 3 Doctor Who
Yeah,
episodes
it
all
felt like 3
combined
different
together.
Doctor Who episodes
Yeah.
at one point. Yeah, especially with the 2 male leads in this, who are best friends, and yet they're meeting now in opposite order, which I think is a fascinating concept. You know, I liked it when they did it in Doctor Who, and I really was kind of surprised by that reveal in this movie. But wow, I mean, I finally had to just check my brain at the door and say, okay, stop analyzing this because it's not going to work.
Yep, exactly.
I couldn't do it. But it was
I liked the film.
I
It was
liked
good.
it.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those movies that will probably get a hell of a lot of rewatch because people are going to try and digest everything they saw.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you can, though.
No, you
and
can't.
Actually, Kip Thorne was it Kip Thorne that was the consultant on the...
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Yeah, you looked at it was Kip Thorne, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie. The effects are stunning. The visuals. But, you know, so check it out if you really want to have your mind blown.
Yep, exactly. And now it's time for the Wacky Weekly Recap.
Oh, you said it right. How good of you. Yes, these are the items that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com and for this past week. And the links for each of these items will be in the show notes for this episode number 331 at tggeeks.com, starting with Sunday, June 13th. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a nudie chupacabra. No, Nerdy Chupacabras number 52. Then on Monday the 14th, TG Geeks episode number 330. On Tuesday the 15th, Andrea's Angle, Rita Moreno. Just a Girl Who Decided to Go For It is Legendary. This is a documentary on Rita Moreno that Andrea did. And then also Ben's Gay Breakdown, Love Victor. Season 2, 3 episode thoughts. Yes, Love Victor is back on Hulu. And on Wednesday the 16th, Andrea's Angle, the Sparks Brothers, cult favorite humorous duo. The Sparks Brothers are everybody's favorite band that you've never heard of.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, I really want to see it because now I'm really curious.
Yeah.
On Thursday the 17th, Andrea's Angle, 12 Mighty Orphans, mighty emotional and uplifting. On Friday the 18th, Hamish Downey's 5 Questions with Tina de Bellegarde, as well as Roadside Attractions presents Joe Bell in theaters July 23rd. Oh my God, people, you need to check that one out.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. You have to check.
It's a tearjerker, but
Oh my God, is it
it
so good?
is a very important film.
Very important film. And then we close off the week, Saturday the 19th, July LGBTQ content calendar on Reverie.
Now it's time for this.
Have a couple of shout-outs that we need to make. First, to the Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News for republishing some of our content from time to time, put out by the human Arkle, Brian Weber. You heard from him a little bit earlier. And to just find that, just go to Twitter and look for Arkle at ARKLE, and you can find his Post-Dispatch News there. And if you want, why don't you start checking out all things Arkle by going to his YouTube channel, Arkle Studios. He has a number of his projects there. His Shameless Cash Grab series, which is now in season 6. His Rants vs. Zombies series has ended, but you can always listen to past episodes, as well as a new item, which is Arkle Tier Ranks, and we're talking TIER ranks. He ranks various things, as well as his game videos of Trick and Treat and Star Trek Online.
And he also has several Tumblr pages. He sent me a link to some of his episodes that had, I think, the lowest watch counts or something.
Indeed.
To that effect, yes.
No, Brian's a very busy boy, and
always busy.
I love his
thank
creativity
you so
there.
much,
yes,
Brian, for always being supportive of us.
And he's a very creative fellow. We must also give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups for allowing us to post our episodes and relevant articles on their pages. First, Two Gay Geeks After Hours. Their moderators say, hey, go ahead, share away. And we do. And the URL is facebook.com/groups/Gay Geeks After Hours. That's all one word. And then to The Gay Geek for pretty much the same. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/thegaygeek. And as always, we must give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And we can also be found on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Sci-Fi Radio, formerly Krypton Radio. They changed their name. And we are featured at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays as a replay of this podcast. Go ahead and listen to their other content. They are a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that's it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for the Webcast episode. We're going to have several links on the page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind. Stay safe. Get vaccinated. Peace.
Cheers.